Welcome to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast with Dale and Jim, where the truth matters and progressives' feelings don't. We bring you the facts from the perspective of two average, everyday guys who will never apologize for being America first, for adhering to our great Constitution, and for saluting the flag that our brothers and sisters have fought and died for. And now, here's Dale and Jim.
Welcome, everybody. Two Guys, One Coup, episode 33. How are you, Jim?
I'm doing fine. How about you, Dale?
Good, good. You have a good weekend?
Oh, yeah, it's all right.
Okay, that sounds positive.
Yeah.
What happened? Anything? I mean,
Yeah,
just like
nothing. Just kind of. Niece graduated
Kinda
from high school. That's kind of cool. So
yeah, that's good. Good
Saw
for her.
that,
Good
so,
for her.
yep.
She can be fully liberated into the college world now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like where she's
Yeah.
going, but oh well.
Oh, we know. You could tell. You could tell us. It's pretty.
PU.
We know. PU.
Yeah,
That is funny. That's the.
it is. I think it's hilarious. So,
Oh, well,
that
good for her.
That second tier school in Indiana.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. She must have got bad grades in high school to go there.
Yeah. Well, they're taking anybody.
You got a
The
heartbeat
funny
and a
thing is, I
checkbook?
have to
Welcome.
remind everybody who the chancellor is.
Who is the chancellor?
Mitch Daniels.
Do people are
One of the
people
most
supposed to know
popular governor in Indiana.
Oh,
very,
Mitch Daniels.
very
Yep,
conservative.
okay.
Yep.
who- Oh, good. Good for him.
Yep.
Yeah, that is
And
good.
he's froze the what do you call that? The charge tuition. He's frozen tuition over the last few years. So
That's a big word.
What do they call that thing?
That's a big word.
So
I feel somebody from Purdue would know that answer.
yeah,
So,
but
you know,
a
but
lot
you
of
don't.
people like him. So
Yeah, that's
shows you
good.
what happens when you get a conservative running a college, huh?
I agree. I
So-
agree. It's going to be weird. I wonder. Yeah, I'd sure
I
like
still
to see
hate
some
it.
of the. Well, of course you did.
You
Of
know,
course
but
you did.
it is what it is.
Why wouldn't you? Jim, like I said, episode 33, welcome everyone. We really appreciate the support. Got a little bit more support on Rumble
Mhm.
this past episode because still, as if you haven't heard, YouTube has banned us for 2 weeks. So this episode is number 2 of 4 that you will not see on YouTube. Although I think I can retroactively go back and put them on,
Yeah.
which is fine, and I'll do that.
Yeah.
But anyways, keep following on Rumble, download it, like us there,
Yeah,
you know, and of course the
Spotify,
Apple and the
Apple.
Spotify, all Stitcher, anywhere for podcasts. We really appreciate it. We've gotten a lot of good feedback, specifically the last few shows,
Mhm.
because of Paige Miller from Moms for Liberty.
Yeah.
Today you get to hear
Phenomenal.
the final part 4 of that interview. She's incredible.
Yeah.
I learned so much just by talking to her.
The group is so good and it's so misinterpreted by, of course,
Well-
there's a shock, isn't it? But
Yeah,
just
yeah,
phenomenal
by the
group
media.
that
That's
they
who they're
only care,
misinterpreted by.
we're called what they're called racist, they're called transphobic and stuff like that.
Oh, they're
but
called everything. Yeah.
and domestic terrorists too. But all they
Correct.
care about is the grades are going down all throughout, or our kids aren't learning anything in school. But hey,
Nope.
let's teach them what a transgender is. More important than math.
Well, that's right.
So
And not just that, but let's teach them that we have to accept everybody for who they are. Well, okay. I mean,
you can
can't
accept
just
it. You just don't have to
can't
like
you-
it. There's a difference.
Can't you? Yeah, can't you just say that?
Yeah.
Here's how we teach. We teach tolerance. We're just
Mhm.
tolerant of everybody everywhere, which I still think is wrong because I'm not going to be tolerant of ISIS. I mean, I'm not going to be tolerant
that's a
of
little
people.
different,
Well, is it? When does it become we have to tolerate their behaviors? When I mean,
Well,
you know
but
what
they're
I'm
not.
saying.
They're,
See
you
the
know, they're
extreme.
not burning down buildings in Seattle though. So we got to be tolerant of the other group that does that.
That's
all
right.
the thing, you know?
That's right. Jim, we have stuff we got to talk about. Like I said, you're going to hear part 4 of our interview with Paige Miller from Moms for Liberty. We hope to have more of Paige on at a later time.
In
We hope
August,
to have
especially.
Yeah, and we hope to have more members of that group to come on because they all have their own stories and their own issues with what's going on in the public school systems across this nation. And
because Paige is Hamilton County.
yeah,
and
just
so
Hamilton County.
I mean, there's
Mhm.
more out there for different counties and different states. So
Oh my God,
always
everywhere.
always fighting
Al-
different things. So
always fighting different things. And yes, they all have the same goal in mind, and that is literally, like you said, the agenda is to protect the children, to give parents their rights back. They're unified in that goal, and it's really, to me, it's just always amazing that the crap they get for wanting to protect children and have parents have rights over their children. It just shocks me what they get called and all that crap.
Like I said, going through parent-teacher conferences all through my kids growing up, all I heard about is there's no parent involvement. There's just no parent involvement. Now they get parent involvement. They're like, we don't want parent involvement.
We don't want parent involvement. We don't like it. We don't like it.
Make up your mind. Come on.
Y'all are too bitchy. We don't like it. So yeah, that's crazy. So anyways, Jim, we're going to be talking about some things. We'll kind of get right into it today. A few stories, again, more kind of schooly stuff. And then there's also, we continue with the administration and all the good things that are happening. I think officially now, before we get into this, gas prices have doubled is the official on average now.
Yeah.
In all 50 states.
Don't hold back that Two Guys, One Coup on this show is going to solve a big chunk of this problem. Stay tuned.
We are. Stay tuned for that. We have solutions.
That's right.
On Two Guys, One Coup.
And it's real simple. Real simple.
Oh, my gosh. If you thought of it, it had to be.
And it's going to be controversial. I'm telling you what, but it'll do it.
Jim, Two Guys, One Coup is not controversial. We're factual. And
we have a lot of fun.
And we have a lot of fun.
And we're dickweeds.
and we are total dickweeds, bro, dude.
Oh, and we're amateurish. Yeah, we are. We're amateurs.
I can't argue with that. Last I looked, I didn't have a massive recording background.
If you're gonna insult me,
hard to tell, right?
If you're gonna insult us, man, bring better than that. I mean,
we know we're amateurs.
Yeah.
And
we know we're dickweeds.
And we know we're dickweeds.
Come on.
We're okay with both.
Yeah.
We are okay with both. Yeah. Jim, we're going to start with you. So what do you say we just get on with this?
Perfect.
Let's go.
Okay. I just want to do a quick thing, Dale. Real quick.
You always want to do quick things.
And it ends up going long, right? But I just want to talk more about this gun control thing. And because
why not?
I get gun control scares me. Because it's like, wait, gun control, what? But how about gun policies or gun, things like that? Because maybe we need to negotiate this. Maybe negotiation needs to happen from this standpoint because, you got the intelligent people that everybody listens to, the people on The View who believes we need to get rid of AR, which, by the way, AR does not stand for assault rifles for those idiots out there.
And if you're listening to the show and you don't know what it is,
Anyway,
look it up.
But I went through some statistics that I wanted to throw out here, and I want to make sure that everybody has it. So we're going to talk about fentanyl, okay?
Which has got a lot to do with gun control. But go on.
Well, hold on. I'm giving statistics, okay?
I know.
So in 1999, 8,050 overdoses in the United States.
What year? I'm sorry.
In 1999, we had 8,050 overdoses in the United States. In 2015, it went up to 33,091. From May of 2020 to April of 2021, we had 100,000 people die of overdose, and 64% of it was due to the synthetic opioids, which fentanyl is.
Yep.
Okay, so we had a 64% of the deaths. So for you people on San Francisco, that's 64,000 people. Okay.
Pretty simple math.
Anyway, that's real simple math.
Tough for West Coasters.
64,000. A lot of these were children. Young adults and children.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You see where I'm going with this. Hold on.
Yes, I do.
November of 2020 to November of 2021. 107,000 overdoses, 66% of them due to synthetic opioids. Wait a
second. Tell me the last. Can you tell me? Stop.
Go ahead.
The math is. It was a long weekend, so my math skills are shitty as always. Review the last two stats. So the 100,000 one and the one you just did.
Okay, so from May of 2020 to April of 2021, it was 100,000.
Okay.
Okay. So November of 2020 to November of 2021, we were at 107,000 overdoses.
All right. Okay. Gotcha.
Of the 100,000, 64% was synthetic overdose. Okay. 66% from November 2020 to November 2021 of the 107,000, 66% synthetic opioid overdose. Okay.
Okay.
So that is going to be roughly 68,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I thought you said 800,000 somewhere.
No. Sorry. No. If I did, I apologize. I did not mean 800,000.
Yeah. That's kind of where I thought I might have heard it wrong. Go on.
For those of you who aren't aware of it, a lot of this, and I mean a lot of this synthetic opioids, fentanyl, comes from the border of Mexico and the United States.
Not necessarily, though, just so everybody knows.
Majority
not necessarily
of it.
manufactured there.
Right.
But it's brought
it's
over.
coming over.
Correct.
Okay.
It's just,
Well, if you're concerned about guns and you want to take the ARs away from law-abiding citizens, like you want to do that, 99.9%, by the way,
correct.
Why aren't we building the wall on the border to prevent the opioids from coming in? It's killing a heck of a lot more people and kids than the guns are. Okay.
Yep. Correct.
So that's an important statistic. So let's talk about that. Let's talk. Okay. So you want to say, let's make it harder for somebody to get an AR, not to be able to get one. You want to make it harder to get one. Fine. Let's do it. Let's do deeper background checks. Let's do this. Close our borders.
Yep.
If you really cared about American lives or children's lives or whatever you say, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's close the border, build that wall, finish it up, get it done, and help our Border Patrol people. Okay? Because they're catching a lot of it. They're not catching all of it.
Correct.
And then the other thing is, Dale, how many do you think teen drivers are killed daily in the United States because of texting?
God. So first of all, I thought that, you don't hear about it, right? So you really don't. I mean, you see, you're driving, you see signs, don't text and drive. We all know that. We all know the whole outcome of it.
And like teenagers, they listen and they don't do it.
Of course, just like illegals won't obtain an AR. But I don't know. I wouldn't even venture a guess because you don't hear about it. 11
teens die every day, which math times 12 is 132 teens every year die.
Wait, you now go back to your math. Okay. 11 per day.
11 per day times per day.
Why?
Oops, my math is way off. I was going per month. Whoops. So it's a hell of a lot more than that. Sorry. Sorry, Paige. Hope you're not listening. This is Indiana education right here.
Mistake two.
Okay, so it's a lot. Okay, 365 days a year.
You can do it now on your phone if you want. I don't. You keep talking. I'm going to figure it out.
So anyway, it's over 3,000. All right, we know it's over 3,000 deaths a year. So are we going to take phones away from kids? Are we? I mean, what are we going to do here? I mean, that is more of a situation that's out there than the guns, right?
Agreed.
So 21% of teenage drivers involved in fatal accidents were distracted by their cell phones. So this means that a teenage driver was completely distracted, had an accident, killed somebody, killed themselves, or harmed other people, fatal accidents. 21% was because they weren't paying attention.
So our kids, there's 4,000 a year killed by texting and driving. 4,015 leap year, blah, 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 whatever, on average.
So over 4,000 killed. Now it's going to go higher because it's happening, right? We have this problem. So the point I'm trying to make people is, okay, fine. You want to start talking about gun control. You think taking ARs away from people is going to prevent people from doing bad things. No, they're just going to do it in a different way. They're going to do pipe bombs. They're going to do knives. They're going to do cars. They're going to do something. If these crazy people want to take a bunch of people out, they'll find a way to do it.
Yeah.
If they can't get a hold of an AR, they're going to find something. Okay.
They are.
Gun control is not the problem. So we need to get that out of the way. But again, If you want to talk about making it harder for people to get it, okay, not necessarily 100% on that, because like I said, 99.9% of the people that own guns are very responsible and don't cause any problems. But if you want to be idiots out there and you want to say this is going to solve all the world problems, then let's negotiate. Close the border, because I'm more worried about the opioid because, drugs are pretty near and dear to my family's heart. And let's stop that. Okay. So the way to help that, it's not going to stop it, but it's going to help it by closing the border. Right?
Yeah.
Teen drivers, no more cell phones. You can't get a cell phone until you're 18.
That's right.
You can't get a cell phone
Why
until
not?
you're 18. No car, no car can be made without having in that vehicle to cut off cell phone usage.
I almost agree with that.
But nobody's going to do it.
Nobody's going to do it.
Because the passenger seat people are going to say, hey, what am I going to do when I'm...
Exactly.
So what are you going to do?
Yep.
Okay, so look, and I'm serious. 99.9% of the people that own guns are very responsible. They do it for whatever reason. And of course, you're going to have somebody from San Francisco. Well, you can't hunt with an AR. No, but they're fun to shoot.
They're fun to shoot. That's right.
And if something happens where I need to defend my house, I'd like to have one.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's semi-automatic, guys.
Right.
Everyone thinks AR is an automatic weapon, which are already banned.
Yep.
People don't know that.
Yep.
But I think we briefly talked, and I want to make sure I get this right, but we off air before the show that the United States does own a lot of guns. We own a shit ton of guns. We own 40%, from what I believe that's the correct number, or thereabouts, of guns in the world. Citizens own 40% of those. We also rank super low in mass shootings and killings with those guns. Like literally 1 to 1.5% of the world murders with guns happens in the United States. But yet we own 40. We own the most. Yeah, so like I said, it doesn't make sense.
They only want to they only want to argue the mass shootings, Dale.
Well, I know
they don't give a shit about the people that are killing each other in Chicago. They don't care about that.
Freaking day.
They really honestly don't care. They don't care about Baltimore. They don't care about Detroit. They don't care. They could care less because that's one-on-one.
Yep.
But by God, and really what helps out if it's a white person. Exactly. I mean, they love it. The left loves it when it's a white person.
Love when a white guy is killing people.
I think what was it? 6 of the mass shooters were black, and a couple were Hispanic. Some were white.
This year, you mean? The ones this year? Yeah.
And, a lot of them were white. Not all of them racist activities. They're just people frustrated and, they wanted to take it out. So again, if you want to make it harder for people to get ARs or, guns like that, fine. But let's negotiate. But the problem is you can't negotiate with the left.
Yep.
They can't. They don't want it. They get mad at us for not coming across the aisle to negotiate with them. They never come across the aisle. And we know for a fact that when President Clinton, during his administration, things were successful. Why? Because he and Gingrich worked together. They actually reached across the aisle. Okay? Literally.
They did.
He reached across the aisle. So, because a lot of the left were upset with Clinton because of some of the things he did. Yeah, but he was successful because they worked together. Yeah. All right. So now look, we know what happened, and we're going to go into this a little bit later with where we're at with this. But right now, let's stop politicizing this. Okay, stop it. I don't want to see any more people crying, and I love it when left sit there and say, "Let's pray for the children." Pray. You want to pray for the children in schools, but you don't want to have prayer in schools? Okay, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's look. There's ways to solve this. There's ways to come through with this. But they have to be willing to come with a proper way to go. If you want to make it harder for people to get them, fine. Make it harder for people to get them. But you can't sit there and say, you got to be 21 to get an AR. Wait a minute. You can be 18 to go fight for our country.
Yep, correct.
I mean,
correct.
So you got to be careful. But start caring about the fentanyl deaths. And start caring about the teenage driver death testing and driving if you're going to do this. Because, and folks, that's just those 2 issues. There's a lot of other ones out there that are more important, that we need to talk about. When you talk about this, all of these issues with kids today. What's going on?
Mhm.
You seem to not care about that, but you care about
Mhm.
when guns involved. So let's
Yep.
move on. Okay, let's
Yeah.
try to fix this in a right way to do it, and not in
Mhm.
a let's take guns away from good people. That's
Yeah.
not the way to do it. So anyway,
Yep.
I'm off my
Yep.
soapbox now. And sorry about the math,
Yeah.
folks.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it
don't
was.
know what I was thinking, but oh well.
I don't either. That was a terrible.
Yeah, terrible. Yeah, but okay, but it's fine. We
That,
got the point
so
across.
was that your whole segment? Was it on the
hmm
gun thing?
hmm
That's what. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know, Jim.
Well, I do
We
want to talk about some of the things on the Biden, but I figured we'd get back to that.
will do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we will get back to that.
yeah.
We will definitely get back to that. Well, Jim, let's. I don't know if I have anything to add to that gun thing. You've pretty much said it all, and so let's just move on. Next segment. What do you think?
Perfect.
Jim, do you like pizza?
I love pizza. Does it look like I eat pizza?
It looks like
Giordano's is fantastic.
nobody knows that place.
Deep dish Chicago pizza.
Oh, is that up in Chicago?
Speaking of, if they want to, they want to sponsor our show, I have no problem. Anyway,
taking pizza,
go on,
as
Dale.
payment. We'll work for food.
That's
Why don't you just have that sign wrapped around you? You know. Well, you might want to skip Pizza Hut if you're a Pizza
This
Hut
is
lover.
concerning.
If you're a Pizza Hut lover, you might want to kind of give Pizza Hut the boot. The headline reads as this, Jim. Pizza Hut features drag kids book for children as young as kindergarten. Well, what the hell does pizza have to do with drag books and everything else? Well, anyways, here it is, Jim. Pizza Hut is featuring a book about drag kids as one of the books promoted by its Book It reading incentive program aimed at children in kindergarten through 6th grade. So, like a lot of companies do, they have we sponsor books, this is our, way of sponsoring schools and children and giving back. And well, their program is called Book It. So here it is. The Book It website features a book titled Big Wig and states that the reading is geared toward children in pre-kindergarten through 3rd grade. Now, we first heard about this, Jim, before I go on, because of Paige Miller.
Right.
She threw this our way for us to look at and maybe make some comments on it. So thank you, Paige, again for that. Big Wig is a picture book that celebrates drag kids, according to a description on the Simon & Schuster website. I think everybody knows who Simon & Schuster is, but in the spirit of Julian is a Mermaid, which I think you brought up a couple shows ago as a book.
Mm-hmm.
The Irrepressible picture book celebrates drag kids individually and self-confidence from the perspective of a fabulous wig. So it's a kid's book. It's a picture book. The description adds that the book is about a child who dresses in drag and competes in a neighborhood costume competition. Jim, you've been in neighborhood costume competitions.
I do it. I've done it just a couple months ago. Mm-hmm.
You go by Jamie, I think is your drag name.
Mm-hmm.
When a child, I'll tell you, I got to give Paige credit on this. She makes me laugh with these things, even though it's no laughing matter, and I know that. But you almost can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
It's becoming stupid. I mean, come on.
We've already established that this book is about a kid who dresses in drag that goes into a neighborhood competition, much like you did as a child, Jim. When a child dresses in drag, huh?
Not true. Go on.
Yeah, you used to dress as a boy. I remember. When a child,
wow.
when
I would make an ugly girl.
Jim, come on.
Not a handsome boy either, but I would make an ugly girl. So
selling yourself short.
Okay. Well, how can I not? You're so uplifting.
Okay, here. Let's stop here. You've got nice tits. There you go.
You're uplifting, I tell you.
It's just like your bra. What?
Wow.
When a child dresses, Jim, let me get back to this. It's a very important story. When a child dresses in drag to compete in a neighborhood costume competition, he becomes Bedazzle. A key part of Bedazzle's ensemble is a wig. That's his name. That's his drag name. Bedazzle.
Good, great name.
I think so, Jim. I like it. Bedazzle's ensemble is a wig called, you'll get this, Wig. That's what his wig's called. Together, I'm going to read a little bit about the author, too, of this. Together, they are unstoppable drag queen team, both of them, Bedazzle and Wig. But Wig feels inadequate compared to the other bigger wigs. When Wig flies off Bedazzle's head and goes from kid to kid, installing confidence and inspiring dreams in those who wear her. The book, promoted by part of Pizza Hut's Camp Book It program, which runs during the summer. So it's off school. That's a lot of these happen off school like that. So it promotes kids to read during the summer to brush up on their drag skills, apparently. Participants in pre-K through 6th grade can receive a personal pan pizza as a reward for meeting their reading goal, according to a screenshot of an email tweeted by Libs of TikTok. I love it. Big Wig is being featured as part of Pride Month, according to this email. So here's a little bit about the author of Big Wig. His name is Jonathan Hillman. He's a graduate of Hamline University's MFA in Writing for Children and Young Adults, MFAC program. Don't know what any of that means. Do you? Do you know what any of that means?
Ask me if I care, actually.
Oh, okay. Where he won the Walden Pond Press Award for Excellence in Middle Grade Fiction. His work has been featured in... This is for you, Jim. I almost can't. Jim. His work has been featured in...
This ought to be good.
His work has been featured in Fat and Queer... an anthology of queer and trans bodies and lives. I figured you'd like that one, Jim. Fat and Queer. Might be your new nickname for me.
My God.
I'm so sorry, people. Folks, it's literally, I'm looking at the book title. And there is, the book is called Fat and Queer. And that's the second one. He's wrote Big Wig now and Fat and Queer. This is who Pizza Hut is putting their eggs in these baskets here. There is also, Pizza Hut also has, and you can go on their program. You can go on their website, book it. It's not booking.com. Don't get it confused. Not to ruin those people's lives, but it's Book It.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a story of, so they have on there the mermaid story that you had talked about. They have Be Amazing, A History of Pride. Okay, that is also featured on there. Perfectly Pegasus, which is just this little Pegasus horse that goes around to tell everyone to be accepting of everyone else, regardless of their sexual orientation. That is on.
And a kindergarten kid knows that. Yeah.
And a kindergarten kid knows that. That's just some of the books on there. I haven't looked up there's Smittens with Kittens. I mean, that could
That's
be
bestiality. That's totally.
I don't know. I mean, some could say it's a children's lesbian book. I don't know. I don't know.
I get it.
I haven't looked at. Bingo.
Get it?
Yeah. Dream Annie Dream. There's other books. They may not be part of that, but they have featured this on their website for children pre-K through 6th grade. And I'm telling you, when you look at these books, like the Fat and Queer and the Big Wig, they're children's books. I mean, they're not 6th graders. They're much younger than that. So you might want to think about having something else other than Pizza Hut, because like everything else and every other corporation, excuse me, they feel they have to go woke and jump on this pride movement stuff and all this other crap, which brings me to just an opinion. I don't even have a story on this, but just an opinion on Pride Month. And I kind of posted something like this on our two guys. Well, I didn't post it yet, but I saw it. But you have Veterans Day, who has a day.
Right.
Right. You have Pride Month for the LBG, the L people. I don't understand this. I don't understand. I am totally not against gays and lesbians and all that. I am not. Again, live your life.
Mm-hmm.
Live your life like you want. But to give them a full month, is it necessary, Jim?
I don't know.
I mean, you don't know. You have no thought.
Well, I have a lot of thoughts. I don't think they need to. I'm part of it is because we're going into this thing about talking about how they need to do this because they're everything is bad and and people hate them and all that stuff. I don't see that. I don't see
either.
the hate. There is no hate.
I don't either. I don't see it either. And maybe because I don't live in those circles, I mean, so
the only thing I can think of is because of this DeSantis law and because of what we're saying about Moms for Liberty and what this group is going into schools, they're playing it that way, but that's not what it is. Don't hate them. We don't hate them. We don't not want them to be who they are. Be who you are. Don't care. Don't teach it to children. That's all we're saying. Don't teach it to children who don't have the capacity to understand what you're saying.
No,
all right?
That's correct.
That's all we're saying here. Be who you want. Enjoy the month. Congratulations. Have fun. Have a good time.
It goes back to me. Like it goes back almost to the to what our good friend in the House committees, Jerry Nadler, said when they asked him about. It goes back to gun control, and this will equate to this in a second. But when they asked him, hey, if you want to raise the age to 21, that's fine. Will you raise the age to 21 to be drafted? And he's like, oh, no. But wait, you just said 18-year-olds can't. Right. They don't have enough responsibility to own a gun.
Right.
But those are the same people that think a 5-year-old can change their sex. So an 18-year-old doesn't have the responsibility to own a gun. And that might be true. Okay. But they're fighting in wars with guns.
Yep.
So you can't. The hypocrisy again is that they think they don't think. They want to make up their own rules on this. So, and if an 18-year-old doesn't have enough responsibility to buy an AR, then how the hell can a 5-year-old have enough responsibility to know what gender or sex they are? And throwing this crap down their throat is that's what's indoctrinating them. And I have personal experience with the indoctrination of this, not so much in the elementary school, but in the college level and I won't bring up names and I won't tell you who the person is, or I won't say anything like that. But this person has, now changed name and identity and all that. And now you can't call this person by their birth name. You can't, I'm being told this, like, you can't call me that. You can't call me that. This is my new name and this is who I am. And this is how I identify, to me, I can't take it anymore. I just can't take it anymore. I cannot. I appreciate the fact that that's what you want to be in life and you can be that way. But it's the whole, you have to do this now because I made this decision is the bullshit that's going on out there.
Right.
And I'm sorry. I don't give a crap if you ever talk to me again. I'm going to call you by what I know you and who I know you. So
if somebody wants to change their name, for example, Michael to Leah Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, fine. I'll call you Leah.
I'll call you Leah.
I'm not going to call you her. I mean, that's my choice. That's my choice. Of
course not.
You know how we always have to, you got to respect them. We'll respect my opinion. All right. I don't care if a person calls himself Leah. Fine. I'll call you Leah. Fine. Don't care because that's your name. It's just a name. Don't ask me to call you her. Don't do it because you're not. Okay? You're not a her.
I get that.
If you
I
want to
totally
call
get
yourself a her, other people want to call him or her, fine.
that.
I'm not going to do it.
I'm almost having a problem now at this point, Jim, with calling people by what they decide they want to be called. That to me, that's just it's like I understand it's just a name, but it always goes back to okay, now I've accepted the fact that I'll just call you this. But then next, now I have to accept the fact that you are a woman.
Well, but
or you
anybody
are
can
a
change their
non-binary.
name.
And then I have to, I know that.
Yeah.
But my point is it's like gun control. They want to, okay, let's make ARs. But
Right.
what's next? Because Joe Biden comes out and says 9mm can blow along out of your body. Oh, is that what's next? Because
That's what
sleepy
they're-
dumbass Joe says
Yeah,
so.
and
You know, it's never going to stop. And it goes right back to the school system where they're putting these books
that's
in.
the problem.
And they're slowly but surely they add a book. Then they add a second one. Now they're adding teachers who teach it. And it just trickles down to the point where you're just inundated.
And my favorite thing
they're
is
just forcing it down your throat.
the kids can't read and write, but by God, they can identify a transgender.
Now, what the hell is that about?
It's indoctrination. That's what it is.
Jim, I have trouble identifying a transgender. I don't know. I might have walked past 400 over the weekend. I have no idea, right? I'm not paying that much attention.
We don't have to. If you want to identify yourself as a woman, anybody out there who wants to do this, we'll talk about Leah Thomas because that's the one of the thing that's coming around a lot. Fine. I'm not going to do it. You can call yourself whatever you want. I'm not going to do it. I hope no harm comes to you. I don't think that should ever happen. You should not be allowed to compete in the Olympics as a woman. I'll stand behind that till I'm blue in the face because I support women. You know, where in the hell's the Title IX people? Where in the hell are all these people coming out and saying this isn't right? We fought. We fought to get this. We fought to get equalization. We want to be seen. Now you're letting men beat you, and it just makes no sense. But it all starts here.
Sense.
It all starts in the school systems.
It all starts in the school system.
And guys, you're not transphobic. You're not homophobic if you don't agree with the lifestyle. You can still accept it. You don't have to agree with it. That's okay.
True.
That's okay.
That's true.
You don't have to agree with the way I live. You don't have to agree with what I feel. You don't. But kind of let's move on. You know, I think we got more important things in this world than our children learning what transgender is.
We don't. According to the left, we do not. Okay, we do not. Jim, we're running long, so I'm just going to briefly go through this real quick. I'm not even going to read the whole article, but it's the CDC director spoke with several union leaders before tightening mask mandates. This has to do with the CDC director meeting with teachers' unions to tighten the mask mandates at the request of the teachers' union because they were going to come out and just badmouth the Biden administration. Well, they can't have that. That's the gist of this 4-page story that I just can't get into because of time. Right. But the truth of the matter is that I think that who is it? It's the director of Centers to Disease. Her name is Rochelle Walensky. I'm sure everybody's probably seen her over the, if you saw a picture of her. You may not know her by name, but you recognize her when you see her. Because of pressure from teachers unions that they were going to come out and just totally bash the administration. So the CDC, okay, we'll listen to you. As if the teachers unions now are medical and have the proper data to determine whether masks work on young children in our schools. Again, more school shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm beginning to think, Jim, and we get into a lot of, problems that are going on and we're going to talk some about Biden and all this other crap. I am truly beginning to think that this all stems from the school systems and the young. I knew colleges were, I knew liberal ass colleges. We all know that, right? But until recently, I never knew the extent of any of this. I was blind to it all. Right. I didn't know how deep down it went and who was doing what and all that and what they were trying to teach our children. So Yeah, that's all. I mean, I kind of went on a
in
soapbox
a
too, but I'm
well,
just
no,
saying.
we need to go on soapboxes because that's where we're at right now. And um, this is the left. I'm sorry, they're evil. They don't
Mhm.
care. They flat out don't care. So when you
They don't
disagree
care.
with what they say, what you're racist, you're transphobic, you're
You're
homophobic, you're
everything.
everything.
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
Whatever new
when
name they're going to come up
that's
with.
not the case. We just what are we doing here, folks? What is your end game? All right,
Yep.
we have all this
Yep.
issue, all these people going out there. We have a lot of let's just we're getting
So the
into
end
some
game,
other stuff on the African
the
Americans, but
end,
we can deal with that later as far as that goes. But you know,
the end game is very simple, Jim. The end game is clearly a voting base to
well,
follow their agenda.
yeah,
That is clearly
there
the
won't
end
be any
game.
jobs for them. But
It's
hey,
much like civil rights and
mhm,
Lyndon Johnson back in the 60s. He had a clear goal of why he was okay, let's do the civil rights thing. Why was that?
mhm,
Because blacks will vote for him
yeah,
for the next 200 years, except he didn't use the word black.
yeah. I
Um,
just
it's the same situation to me,
yeah.
is that they just need to indoctrinate them to get them to get their beliefs. So as they grow up, they're like, oh, I like what this progressive left politician,
Yeah.
he believes the same things I do because that's what I was taught.
Private schools and
So
online schools. As at this
homeschools,
point in
doesn't
time,
matter.
folks,
Yep, do
I
it.
would seriously consider not sending my kids to public schools. I mean,
I would not either.
it's scary
If you care at all,
because
don't do it.
grades are going down, scores are going down. I mean, look everywhere. Look all across this country, scores are going down. And I don't want to hear COVID
Mhm.
2020. Don't. It was going down
Nope.
long before that.
Way
And
before
it
that.
looks like this stuff was being slowly put into the curriculum throughout. And now
Man.
it just seems like it's trying to be thrown in there. And it's like
Correct.
the left is trying to woke this. So, Dale,
They
can
are.
we get on to
J-
the next thing that we both,
Yep.
and then we'll,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
No.
Yep. We're moving on, guys.
All right. The last thing I want to talk about is the media coverage now on Biden's
Mm-hmm.
press office it's getting brutal. Okay. I
Brutal.
like the title. It signals honeymoon is over. Um,
Yep. Yep.
because
Yep. Didn't take
the
long.
new White House press secretary, which by the way, guys, this is the hardest job you could possibly imagine. I mean, let's face it, it's
Especially for Biden
right, and but
administration.
Karen Jean Pierre, the new
Mhm.
spokesperson, who look, I I want to be careful how you sit there and you say things about press secretaries because when
Mhm.
Jen Psaki was in there, yeah, she nothing came out of her mouth that made sense. But the point of the matter is, she's got to defend, right? She's got to defend the
Yeah.
what's going on.
Right.
She's the White House press
Yep.
secretary. She can't sit there and
Mhm.
disagree with it. That she wouldn't last long. But at least she tried to make sense of it. It made no sense when
Mhm.
it came out, but it made enough
No.
sense that the press corps was like, oh, okay, we're
Yep.
okay with it. It
Yep.
makes no
Yeah,
sense,
we're
but we're
okay with it.
fine. But
Yep.
unfortunately, she's going absolutely insane. So
Mhm.
what I want to real quick, and I'm going to do this real quick, and then we're going to solve the whole problem here in the
Mhm.
U.S. with two simple things.
Two simple things.
The key thing was Jeffrey McCall, who worked at DePaul University journalism. He's a journalism professor.
Mhm.
Says it has been most interesting to see the establishment media try to adjust its coverage of the Biden administration. Mainstream media helped run cover for Biden in the 2020 campaign and for the early months of his administration. But the media narrative that Biden was a unifier and any national problems were just Trump leftovers just had to disintegrate in the face of cold reality. Even the left of center media have to grudgingly acknowledge that Biden administration is struggling. Okay. And part of what we're talking about is an NBC reporter, Kelly O'Donnell,
Mhm.
asked
Wow.
Jean Pierre
Mhm.
about the baby formula. Okay.
Mhm.
When did you guys hear in the administration that this was a problem?
Yep.
Okay. Now, I
Yep.
want to, real quick, we talked about it last week where the Treasury Secretary
Surprise.
miscalculated the inflation.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
Surprise.
now we've got the people in the administration that knew 33% of the baby formula was going to be shut down when they shut
Mhm.
the plant in Texas down, right? So we knew
Yep.
33% was going to be shut down, but they did nothing. They did
Did
nothing to
nothing.
fix it. So it was a simple question. So O'Donnell basically says to say there is no specific person is not a satisfactory answer. When you have senior assistants to the president, there's a paper trail. I'm sure about briefings to the president. There is a domestic policy council. There's a chief of staff. At some point, we need to know who would have been the most likely person to talk to him. That's what O'Donnell
Correct.
said.
Yep.
Jean-Pierre continued to dodge the question, and the NBC News reporter fired back.
Wow.
It just looks like it's evasive. To not have senior White House aides come forward and admit they briefed the president on baby formula shortage. We're also trying to understand the information flow in this White House, and it's important for us to get that answer, which is where we're going to keep asking until we get the answer. She still declined to identify who the person was. They know who it was. Okay, it's the administration. Yeah. This administration will never take responsibility for anything, and we've seen it as we've come on
again.
And so as we get through this, I'm going to tell you, and I got to give NBC somewhat credit on this because NBC kicked off the negative stories early Tuesday morning. It was following the Memorial Weekend with the report headlined "Inside a Biden White House Adrift."
Wow.
Telling the readers amid a rolling series of calamities and sinking approval ratings, the president's feeling lately that he just can't catch a break. And that angst is rippling through his party. Yep. And it's rippling through the party because as long as it's a fair election, they're more than likely going to get creamed in the House and they're going to lose the Senate. Okay, that's what it's looking like in a fair election. But NBC wrote, faced with a worsening political predicament, President Joe Biden is preparing aides for a more compelling message and a sharper strategy while bristling at how they've tried to stifle the plain-speaking persona that has long been one of the most potent assets. Biden is rattled by his sinking approval ratings and is looking to regain voters' confidence that he can provide the sure-handed leadership he promised during the campaign. People close to the president say. This is from that report from NBC. So I'm not going to go into a lot of it. Jake Tapper from CNN also called him a flat-footed presidency moving forward and everything else. So the one thing I disagree is that they continue to talk about the reason for the inflation, what's going on in this country with the cost of high price of everything that we have, gas included. It's Putin's war.
And also the other buzz phrase, price gouging.
Right. But I want to let everybody know that this started going up. Prices and inflation started rising 4 months before Putin invaded Ukraine.
It sure did.
So I just want to throw something back, and I've got two solutions that's going to help with this. They're not going to do it, but two solutions that's going to help solve this problem. First and foremost is the most controversial one by far. Cut the amount of welfare. Cut food stamps. There's jobs to be had.
Yep.
So go out there and say this, no more. Okay, we're not subsidizing your lifestyle. You go out and work. We need people to work. We need to get out there. Cut welfare. Okay, cut it. That's one. That gets people back to work, which then helps the supply, which helps all this other stuff, right?
Correct.
The second thing is, and this is the easiest one to do, open the pipeline. Start drilling in this country. Those two things right there will help the inflation portion. Yeah, we're still going to go up a little bit, okay? But as soon as the United States says we're opening the pipeline and we're starting drilling, that price comes down immediately. Okay? It was proven. You can't use that oil right away that's coming through that pipeline. But by God, when President Trump did it, look at where the prices came down.
And also, Jim, to add to that, those are two simple solutions, although the welfare would be a
very controversial, but hey, we need people to work, guys, and they're not working.
That would probably take a Supreme Court decision. But the
no, states.
Well,
certain states already have rules on it. You can only be on
I
welfare
get
for
that.
so long.
I get that, but not nationally. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. So I don't think it'd ever get that far, but the states need to do that. You're
look,
right. The governors do.
But
also tariffs worked.
That's the new thing. They want to cut the tariffs.
Worked. Well, gee, who did that? Already.
But how bad? They think, okay, I'm not going to go into the whole story, but there's a story out there. You referenced it, right? I think you're talking about what we're talking about. They want to take away the Trump tariffs on China.
Yep.
Folks, they think that's going to help with the stemming tide of inflation.
No.
What if you take the tariffs off to China? People are going to start buying stuff from China again. It's going to hurt.
No, you have to add more tariffs. Like no.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Be opposite.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about that report
right.
where the Biden administration thinks they're going to help get the inflation down by cutting the tariffs that Trump did.
That's impossible. That's never going to happen.
No, because it's going to hurt the United States economy.
Which is exactly their plan, Jim.
I hope people aren't buying this. It frustrates the hell out of me that people that fallen for this. And look, guys, I get it. When I sit here and say cut welfare, oh my God, you're going, so you don't care about poor people. You don't care about that. No, you know what I don't care about? People that have living off the system all of this time. And let's go one step further.
As a career.
How many people are on permanent disability, making money on permanent disability that I don't think they're permanently disabled? I think they can work. Okay?
Correct.
So if we went to that, if we cut that crap back, we get people back to work. People come back to work. Now we start supplying stuff. There's jobs out there. Let's get people back to work. And the only way to do it is to stop giving them stuff. All right? I'm sorry. I know that's bad. I know that's going to sound bad. But Congress, if you want to do this, because I want to start a campaign to defund Congress. You know, everybody wants to defund the police. No, let's defund Congress. I don't know how to do that because you have to pay taxes. It's a law. But these people, and I know we have good ones out there. We do.
Yeah.
Okay. But we only had 11 senators vote against that $43 billion bill that went to the Ukraine.
Unreal.
11. Only 11.
Only 11.
And we don't have a problem here? And who doesn't think that $43 billion that went to the Ukraine wasn't some kind of scheme? You know, they weren't trying to funnel money, through it.
Come on, it's obvious.
This is getting horribly bad. Okay.
Yeah.
And guys, whether you like the man or not, go back and listen to some of President Trump's campaign speeches when he was talking about, if you elect Joe Biden as president and you allow this to happen, you're going to have inflation that you've never seen. You're going to have gas prices you've never seen. He predicted this, and it's happening.
Yes.
It's happening.
It's all
These guys are not capable to fix it, and they don't want to fix it. This is exactly what's happening, they want to happen.
Very capable, maybe.
And
that they cannot and do not want to fix it.
I think the Congress, I'm sorry, the left, they're lost. I mean, they're completely lost. The only thing we can hope for is to get Pelosi out of there, to get AOC out of there, to get Omar out of there, to get Nadler out of there. And then on our side, to get Mitch McConnell out of there, to get Lindsey Graham out of there.
Maybe Lindsey Graham out of there.
Get some of these people who have been in there too long. Okay?
Get stupid.
Too powerful, too long, that
Romney gone.
That are starting to control some of the young guys coming in. Get them out of there.
Yep.
Because you got the people like Tim Scott's, the people like Jim Jordan's, those people that are out there. And John Manchin from the Democrat side. And
Joe Manchin.
Joe Manchin from the Democrat side.
Sorry.
We have good people out there that actually do care about what's going on. But we guys, they want us fighting with each other. So they're going to bring this crap up. And they're going to let us fight with each other because they want us to fight. We need to start defunding Congress. Don't know how to do it. I honestly don't know how to, other than to go in and say,
well, you vote them out.
If you've been in so many years, out, bye, see you later, go.
Well, I get it. Term limits for one. Term limits super important. Yes. But if that's not going to happen, and most of them are, term limits is a great thing. I love it. I wish they had it. It's never going to happen. Those long time geezers in there are just like, no way, man. This is like, I'm living the life,
Mm-hmm.
So they're never going to do that. So you got to vote them.
Yeah.
Vote them
Get
out
it.
is what you have
We
to do.
just have to.
So that's all.
I mean, guys, I know most of the people that listen to this are going to understand the whole thing that I said about welfare. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
Some
as
people
difficult as it is, that's what we're going to have to start doing. We got people who don't want to work, who are very capable of working, who don't want to work.
Very,
There's
very
jobs
capable.
out there. And I don't want to hear, oh, they can't. They can't go work at a job for $12 an hour and be able to raise their family. Well, how scary is that? That if they can't go to a job, $12 an hour, where like a McDonald's or something, and get benefits. You go $12 an hour with benefits, working at a McDonald's. You can make more money staying at home, not working. Does anybody else have a problem with that? So you sit there and say, well, let's raise the minimum wage. No, the minimum wage gets raised by competition. You force companies to have to raise their, and that's what happened under Trump. That's what happened.
That's what happened under Trump. That's why people were making more money.
Look at how much the company that we work for, look what they had to go up to the starting pay. We had to increase it to get people to work. Now we're having to do it, try to get people to come to work who don't want to work. There's a difference in what's going on.
You're overpaying for less quality.
Right. We caused a problem during the shutdown of 2020, and with the increased money we gave for unemployment. We caused a problem.
Exactly.
We created people who said, ooh, gimme. And we already have enough of them. We don't need it.
Yeah.
And
they created they got exactly what they wanted.
So call me mean. Say I'm a typical Republican because I don't like. No, I do like the poor. I do want the poor to improve, but the only way for the poor to improve is to work their way out of it. You can't keep giving people money. It's been proven. You keep giving people money, they depend on it. They don't want to go anywhere. Poor. So we really need to push back on that. We need to really fight. And of course, open up the damn pipeline, start drilling in we were energy independent 2 years ago.
Yeah. I had somebody arguing with me about how when he left, we were not independent. We were actually exporting more than we were, importing more than we were exporting. I'm like, no, you clearly can look it up. That's not the truth. It's not the truth at all. So, Jim, we got to move on, bro. That's all right. That's all right. You've been long-winded. I could tell you've been wanting to talk all week. You've probably been bottling this stuff up.
I was talking in front of a mirror.
At least somebody was listening, right? We're going to get to part 4 of our interview with Paige. We got to get to that now. Again, it's part 4 is just like the other ones. She's just full of information. She's great to talk to. Go ahead and listen to that. Part 4, Paige Miller, Hamilton County, Indiana's Moms for Liberty branch. And then we'll be back to wrap it up after that. You ready? Go.
And now, not to mention, we're probably going to be nightmare grandparents.
Right.
So
I'm telling you, these grandparents, they don't mess around. I think I sent you guys the slide deck that we put out yesterday. Liberty. Mm-hmm. That was all the school system's information. Mm-hmm. We didn't create anything. And what surprises me, and that's what I said. I thought they might slow their roll a little bit, but they have just absolutely doubled down into this stuff. And
I think it helps that they have the Attorney General and people like that on their side.
Right, absolutely. They feel very empowered.
Aren't you happy to know that you guys are considered domestic terrorists and they will not consider the violence that Black Lives Matter and Antifa caused? They're not domestic terrorists.
They're not domestic terrorists.
Because we feel the way we feel, we are considered domestic terrorists. Honestly.
Correct.
I mean, we feel, so we feel you, but you have our support.
Do you want a necklace?
Actually,
yes, I would love one. Yeah, I'd wear it proudly. I will wear it proudly.
Absolutely.
I have a shirt I wear that says American Infidel. So I mean, it's kind of an infidels kind of wrote Arabic-y, but anyways, that's another story. That's going deeper than this conversation. But,
we really appreciate the work you and your group are doing. Yeah. We are going to continue to tout you and your group. We are going to continue
and want you to come back on. I would love for you to come back on with more and further information. You have our information, so keep sending stuff because that's the stuff we'll talk about weekly.
And we actually we're coming to Florida for our national convention.
You are? Oh, that's right. It's in July.
And we'll
that's
be in
right.
Tampa. So I'm very excited about that. They have amazing speakers coming. And it's our first conference, so it'll be really fun to get together and be with a lot of Moms for Liberty all across the country and just be together.
That's true. And can anybody attend it? I mean, is it or is it just a conference for the people that are already in the group? Is it?
I don't know. I don't know. I will tell you, we have Paige. Amazing national speakers coming in.
You think you might have a couple protesters there?
We call them our fan club members.
I'm sorry. Fan club members?
Yeah.
That's
learn the lingo.
Is Ben Carson one of them?
Here in Carmel, Indiana, I have a fan
Ben Carson is one of the speakers.
Yeah, Ben Carson.
Ben Carson?
See, that's awesome. That's
awesome. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And I'm excited just to network with a lot of people to find out, what all they're doing. We're called, I think we're all going to wear pearls because they like to call us pearl grabbing.
Oh gosh.
So I do wear my pearls quite a bit when I go out.
Nice. Yeah. You gotta embrace that stuff.
What's funny is because I feel you have a lot of similarities to Dale and myself as far as beliefs and everything else. Right. We don't have our feelings hurt. We have thick skin. We know you're going to make fun of us. Go ahead, keep doing it. And
you're going to call me something that I'm not.
It drives them nuts because they want you to respond. They want you like they do. When you make fun and do that stuff, they get mad at you and call us deplorable. They call us insensitive. They call us all sorts of things.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I just tell them I have been called worse by better people.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or like the comedian Gene Robinson says, "Oh, bless your heart." Bless your heart.
And their opinions have never once paid my bills.
Exactly. Bless your heart.
Never once.
Nope.
Never once.
Well,
Paige, this has been crazy, and very informative. Please, I'm not going to stop you. I mean, say what you want to say.
Well, we have a group that likes to put out stuff about us and me specifically and other members in the group. And what's funny is they hide behind these little monikers. Yep. I mean, I'm on as Paige Miller. That's who I am. I don't hide behind any moniker. And what's, they say that we threaten them, but yet they put out that they were going to dox our husbands. Well, okay. And they threaten us to do other things. We've never threatened them at all. Well,
that's
when you start doing that, it's going to bring you some special attention. And we may or may not have hired a private investigator, and we outed one of them. And they've lost their minds. You hired what? This is America. You start coming after me or my family. Those are, big problems.
That's fighting. That's time to fight.
See, and your group does not go to all of these school boards' houses. You don't go to their houses. You don't protest them. You confront them in a public setting like you're supposed to.
Yes.
And you're the bad guys.
We're the bad guys.
In a legal public setting. Correct.
Yeah. And that got to be a huge issue. And we took a picture under some bunting. I'll send you that picture.
Please.
I'll send the picture because it's a great picture. It's Betsy Ross bunting. And they tried to say it was a Confederate flag. They thought I should apologize for it. I apologize for nothing I do. Nothing. Unless I accidentally do something. But I never intentionally set out to hurt anybody. It is not the Confederate flag, friends. And that was in January. They are still talking about the bunting. And they don't call it bunting, but that's exactly what it is. And, I can send you some of their ridiculous screenshots about it because they are kind of funny. But it was bunting. And we went to, in fact, we took it so far as we went to the American Legion and had them tell us what it was. Well, they went to some other source and they said, nope, it's the Confederate flag. It's not the Confederate flag.
Oh, yeah. Who's their source?
Who knows more, the American Legion or you? So,
or exactly.
Yeah, I always like to make it.
That's crazy.
I always like to make a joke, and I'm always called insensitive. I've been called a lot. I've been called that a lot in the last 3 years than I ever remember in my previous 50 that I lived.
You should probably work on regulating that emotion.
Well,
yes, you should.
So I'm sitting here.
A rocket retreat.
You know, you talk about the Confederate flag, and we can talk that. But I'll make a joke, and I'll say, hey, look, when I see a Pittsburgh Steelers flag, my stomach hurts. I get mad. I get angry. I get emotional. And so I feel that flag should be taken down because it offends me and it affects me in many ways. Now, I am completely joking when I say that, but it's why, because the American flag is offensive to some people. What?
Right.
What? Oh, yeah. So now, good. I get it. The Confederate flag, a lot of people put it as, but a lot of people believe in it, and even African Americans believe that it's a form of, Southern pride. All right, I get it. It's tied to race, and all that, and slavery and everything. So I get it. But the point is, guys, let's get thicker skin, and having these rocket place retreats to go to isn't the way that we're teaching our kids. And my daughter graduated in 2020. We all know they didn't have graduation.
Yep.
She lost her senior night of show choir. She wasn't allowed. They were going to go to Massachusetts. She lost that. And I was telling other parents who were just devastated. They, this and that. And I said, you know what, though? Our children have learned disappointment.
Right.
Our children have learned that this is what happens in life. That, not everything is going to be cuddle. Let's hug them tighter. Not everything is going to be like that. And so I feel the 2020 grads and somewhat 2021 experience stuff that they're going to experience as adults.
Right.
Now they're somewhat prepared for it. And now it's not so bad. They'll be able to take criticism. They'll be able to take disappointment because that's what happened.
Right.
I mean, you mentioned school. Schools are getting rid of valedictorians and salutatorians because it's not fair to the other people. Right. I just don't understand this.
Well, we don't give grades in elementary.
Oh, that's right. You had mentioned that.
Our
I forgot about that. You don't give grades.
Our high school doesn't do finals.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Well, where was all this lovey-dovey, huggy rocket research?
No kidding.
Room when I was a kid.
Wow.
I had older brothers.
Are you kidding me? Finals.
Yep, I had older brothers, and they used to have a choice. You could either get paddled or we're going to call home. And my brothers were paddled. I can't even tell you how many times.
I took paddle
because I would rather get paddled in school than at home.
Yeah,
I was the youngest, so as I'd come through, they'd be like, "Oh, are you Brian's sister?" And
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to get paddled.
You feel sorry for me?
Yeah.
I'd say I'm the good kid,
Yeah.
But
yeah. How is your? Again, I know we're running long, and I don't want to keep you because I know you're busy too. But how do you feel about that whole paddling thing? I mean, it doesn't happen anymore. I get that it's not existent, but I'll tell you what, it taught me a lesson. And you know what I got paddled for the first time? I was in shop class. Okay, so the elective shop class, and a wood plane that you put, regular wood plane. I set it down on its blade instead of on its side. I got paddled for that. What? So that's what I'm saying. That's how easy it was back then to just whoop my ass, for something like that. So, do you think that has had an effect, either positively or negatively, on students in general?
I know. I mean, I was never paddled. I know my brothers were.
Yeah.
And my oldest brother, he was a wrestler. And he was a freshman, and he was cussing, and so the wrestling coach heard him, and he was not allowed to wrestle, but he still had to wear. That's back when you had to wear a suit on the day you were wrestling or football or all that. They made you dress up.
Yep.
Well, he knew my mom and dad were coming to the wrestling meet, but he didn't tell them that he wasn't wrestling, so he wore his suit and everything. So my parents show up and he's still in his suit. So my dad wanders on over and he's like, "Son, why aren't you wrestling today?" And I mean, he just like lost it. And he told my dad, my dad pretty much said, well, I'm going to beat your ass when we get home, but for a couple things. But you know what?
Yeah.
I don't know. I spanked our son for safety things. I'm sorry, but I had some parents that were like, well, we just let him, we're free range. I'm like, well, that's good. So when he runs out into the street and the natural consequence would be hit by a car, then I say, well, there you go, bud. Shouldn't have run out.
There's your free. Yeah. There's your free range child.
There has to be common sense.
Correct.
And I don't know.
I can't.
Yeah, it's a hard subject, and I didn't.
In all honesty, I can't.
And it's got nothing to do with what Moms for Liberty is.
I can't imagine what schools would have to go through and what schools would have to do the paperwork when you actually spank a child today.
Well, here's the thing,
and the lawsuits.
And then you got to make sure that the certain students aren't being spanked more than other students, and this and that, and I would not want any part of it.
See, what we're about is getting parents back to their rightful place.
Yes.
And so when you have, because what it should be, teachers teach and parents parent.
Yep.
And when everybody's doing their job, you don't have these bleeding lines. You don't have that.
Correct.
And so, you know what? Kids have expectations. And what I think kids need is clearly defined lines. You cross this line, this is going to happen. Or, where they feel safe. They feel safe in order. Kids love order. That's why as babies, you put them on schedules. Order so they know what
they need
to
structure.
Expect. Right. And I ran a very structured classroom. I had a blast with my kids. I loved teaching. It was 33 years of the best career I could ever have. And I couldn't understand for the longest time why everybody didn't want to do what I did. Because I absolutely loved it that much. When I look at Moms for Liberty, I look at a national organization that really wants to support parents. That's what we want to do. We want parents to understand. We want clear and transparent. The fact that we've got to go so high as to FOIA emails from district school board members and our superintendent, this is out of hand.
Yeah.
And what we are saying is, parents, you need to get back in the game. That your kids are at risk. They are coming for your children. And you need to be very much aware. That's why I'm telling you today, parents, opt your kids out of surveys. Parents, log in as your children. Read those user agreement statements. You don't have to say, okay, my kid's going to take a Chromebook. You have rights here. You have parental rights. And you can say, not my child. Not.
Indoctrination.
And that's the message.
That's the message.
That's the message.
And parents, you are empowered. You have that power. You need to claim it. And you can go about that. And, I'm not saying you need to go rush the schools, but you need to say, I haven't been in this school for 2 years. I'm a taxpayer. My kids go here. I want to see the classrooms. Last year when the pandemic was, down, they did virtual Meet the Teacher nights. Why? Because you didn't want them in.
Because you didn't want them in. That's
right. I mean, there's no other reason.
You didn't want them in.
No other reason. But you didn't want them in.
Correct.
And parents,
so
you
you're
stood
right.
by. You should have said no. If they're doing it virtually, I'm coming into the classroom. I'll watch the teacher. But I want to see this.
Exactly.
I want to see my child's classroom. I want to see my child's books.
And whatever happened,
which every parent needs.
Whatever happened to that? I mean, because it is. I mean, you can come in. You can actually go in.
Well, COVID stopped.
Well, no. I'm not even
COVID.
I'm not even talking about COVID. I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
They had their rules and stuff. But even before that, and now after, where COVID's not. I thought schools wanted the parents to be active. I thought the schools wanted the parents to be involved in, because that's all I heard many times.
Jim.
It's because we talked about this earlier. It's, they want us to come in. They want the parents to be involved to help the kids learn, because the kid, you have to help the kids when they get home. You have to help them. Well, like I said, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it that way. And then when we want to decide, no, you don't need to teach my child that, What does that have to do with math? What does that have to do with English? And so again, that's where we're at here. And common sense, and I know everybody sits there and says that, but honestly, that's what this is. It's common sense, guys. Does a kindergartner really need to know that?
No.
These things? No. They need to know how to read. They need to know how to write. And it's just amazing.
Yeah, to me, Paige, I think the whole thing, and I know they used COVID as that really worked to their benefit.
Right.
To be honest
Absolutely.
if I want to be honest, it really worked to their benefit. And now, much like in politics, they're continuing to use this thing. You know, the story of Brooke Chappell up in Michigan, who still has not been able to get into her school. I mean, I don't know, other than breaking in, how these parents can do it, but you just have to demand it.
Right.
And it needs a group to demand it, and you need to just confront it every day until they let you in that school. That is their right. I couldn't imagine as a parent not being able to get into my child's school.
The good news,
I couldn't even imagine.
Fort Wayne Community Schools page, just to let you know, they allow that. If you parent come in, now we have, if you want to volunteer to help out, you have to do background checks.
Right. Absolutely.
If you're going to be around kids, but to walk into a school. So I guess I have to credit. I don't see a lot of some of these things that other schools are seeing yet, but it doesn't mean it's not coming. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be here. My biggest problem is making sure that you understand that it takes a parent, it takes a teacher, it takes a student, and for the administration to let those three work together.
Yep.
Don't put your stuff in there. And politicians, stay the hell out.
Right.
Let the teacher, the parent, and the kids. And I think if you have that, I mean, everybody wants to hear about this. Again, I'm sorry, politics, but the left, utopia. Well, that's the start of utopia. Let's go back to doing what teachers do best.
Right.
Teach your children. They don't know how to deal with kids from an emotional standpoint. They don't have the degree. They don't have the ability, the comprehension to do that. So let the professionals do the profession. You just teach the kids.
Right.
That's all.
Paige, what is the next? What's next? I know you're going to the conference. I know the Moms for Liberty conference down there. The website is it momsforliberty.org? Is that .org? That's what I thought. Sorry about that. So Moms for Liberty, spelled out. Moms FOR.
No, I think
Liberty.
it's the number 4.
Yeah.
Is it? Here's why I should let you talk, and I'll just kind of sit back. I thought I had all that. But anyways, we'll make sure we get that right. Moms, letter 4, liberty.org. And they can volunteer. You can, if there's a chapter already in your county, you can go ahead and volunteer there, or you can start your own chapter. There's a process to do that. And there's a lot of information on that website too that you really need to look
I have
at.
to do this because
it's amazing.
I don't catch Dale very often, but did you catch that? Moms, the letter 4.
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
4 is a number.
What? I mean, it's a number.
But
well,
today
I didn't
doesn't
go to
have
school.
to be. If you don't want it to be a number, let's not have it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
I'm going to my rocket retreat. You two are emotionally making me.
Go. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to be nice,
I'm
not. I'm sorry.
And that's why you were an elementary school teacher, and Jim's just a bastard. But anyways. Paige, thank you so much. This was it's the tip of the iceberg, really. Your message needs to be said loud to everyone, everywhere, and every parent needs to really pay attention to this and get involved and just get involved and get involved and get involved. Don't take no for an answer.
No.
Really, is basically it. Push forward. Paige, will you come back on if Jim's not here? Will you? Paige, thank you again. Is there anything else you want to say before we move on, or?
No, but parents, just do everything you can. Love those kids. Train them up your way. Don't give up your parental rights. They're still your children 24/7. And
Amen.
Also come along. Your good teachers. They need your support.
Yeah.
And probably the best gift is this year's wrapping up. If you could write a note to that teacher. We got gifts and stuff, but it's the notes that I kept.
That's a good idea.
And I had a little shoebox, and on those days that weren't great, I would get out some of those notes. and have your kid write a note. They mean far more than a Starbucks, gift card.
Gift card or something like that.
Those are nice too, but those are nice too.
Yeah, we're not saying don't, but maybe.
No, but anyway,
maybe put a note in the gift card.
Come alongside those good teachers. Let them know you support them, and let them know that you want to partner with them.
Yep.
And they will open up to you.
Excellent. Yep.
Excellent. Well, Paige, thank you again. This has been absolutely a pleasure and super informative, mind-blowing in some instances. Shocking. Please come back on again. We'll stay in touch. Yep. We appreciate your time because we know this is a very busy time of year for you as well.
And if you have somebody else in your organization that you deal with that you feel you would like to have on as well, we can add another one to it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So you name it.
And we'll just let you guys talk. I mean, it's who wants to hear us? It's like, you guys are great. We appreciate everything you're doing.
Yeah, we do. Well, keep up the fight.
And we'll help you any way we can.
Well, thanks for the Moms for Liberty plug. It's a great organization, and I'm proud to represent Hamilton County.
We talk about you a lot.
We appreciate it. Yep. And we'll keep it up. Paige, thank you again.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You guys too.
All right. Well, you just heard part 4 of the interview with Paige Miller. That's the entirety. If you haven't listened to the rest, really, you're just, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Because you got to listen to her. She's really, really good. And all the feedback we've gotten, everybody loves listening to her. She really knows what she's talking about, and she was phenomenal. So again, Paige from Jim and I, thank you so much for coming on to the show and for giving us that time and continuing to give us your time as you are doing freaking weekly, daily. Sometimes, she's really, really good. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I hope Jim wasn't too overbearing in some of his questions.
I'm sorry.
He got rude there near the end.
I'm getting heated. I'm getting very heated. This whole thing's got to stop. I mean, it's so easy to fix it, and these idiots don't want to fix it. So,
well, I agree. And so it all starts with the schools, people. Yep. It all starts with the children and their upbringing, what they're thinking, and the trendiness of being transgender or queer or whatever you want to be. Seems like a trend almost. It's like everybody comes out. It's just insane. So, again, they don't know. They're too young to know. But Jim, what else do you have to add before I, wrap this thing up?
Well, then apparently I talk too much, so I'll back off and more things.
Jim, it was just
You're very hurtful to my feelings, Dale.
I know. I mean, you're very sensitive. It's probably because of that Indiana school upbringing.
No, I just think liberalism is starting to wear on me. My feelings get hurt. You say something I don't agree with. I'm trying to get Pittsburgh Steelers flags banned throughout this whole state because it offends me in many ways. So I kind of like this liberal thing that's going on. It's good. It's not my fault. What do you mean?
By the way, a Pittsburgh Steelers flag offends 49 other states. And half of another one, half of the 50th.
Yeah, so, but I do like what's going on right now, Dale. The bad grades that I got in school, it was the pencil's fault.
It was.
I'm starting to see a lot of that. It was the pencil's fault. I love that. It was
the pencil's fault.
It wasn't my fault.
Much like it is, the fork's fault.
Yeah.
And the,
There we go again.
Now, I'm not. Anyways, on behalf of Dale and
Jim,
Jim.
Jim.
Yeah, Jim. I'm sorry, Jim. I had another name for you earlier. What was it again?
Jamie.
No, it wasn't Jamie.
Fat bastard.
Like fat and queer. That was it. Fat and queer. On behalf of Dale and Fat and Queer, folks, please remember to follow us on Rumble again. YouTube has got us off there for 4 weeks, giving us the act. We'll put it on there, but eventually it'll go back there. But remember, download Rumble. I don't get why you wouldn't.
Right. Or watch us or listen to us. You can't watch us, but listen to us on Spotify, Apple
Podcasts,
5-star rating.
I mean, you just
5-star rating.
You look it up anywhere. 5-star rating is very, very important. That's how other people find the content that that you like. Yep. So if you like it and you like what you're hearing, please.
And if I offended anybody, it's your problem.
Oh, Tough shit. So do all that, guys. Remember to comment and follow and do all that. But give us feedback on what you thought on Paige Miller. We loved her. We hope to have more of that group on, and maybe some things coming later. We can't say right now.
We're hoping.
There's things in the pipeline. So again, thank you to her. Jim, phenomenal show. You did talk a lot. I'm okay with that. I really wasn't in the mood to talk today, so I was. I'm glad you took over. You kind of took the bull by the horns on this one.
I had a couple things that really made me mad. So
you had things you needed to say, Jim. You had to get it off your chest. I consider this part of our therapy process. You know?
Well, it was therapeutical today because I guarantee you, if people call me take weed before, I can only imagine what they could call me now.
I bet they can. I can't wait. Yeah. Hopefully not fat and queer. That was
well,
just a joke.
I have a bad feeling that I have a certain amount of people in my family and friends that thank you very much for that. I appreciate that very much.
Listen. It's my gift to them.
Okay. Maybe we'll start calling you Little Dick or something.
What? Jim.
Or Big Dick, because you're being a big dick right now.
Been called that a lot. Again, that
has nothing to do with your manhood. It's just you're being a big dick. Is what.
Hey, I see it the way I want to see it. You know, in my mind, it's got everything to do with my manhood. Matter of fact, I want you to call me Big Dick Dale.
So Chris, Larry,
I identify as
Chris and Larry out there listening. Do not listen to Dale. I do not want to be called that. So let's move on.
He does. Secretly, he tells me.
Billy won't because Billy likes me and I like Billy.
Well, he's fat and queer too. So. Everyone, thank you again. We appreciate the support. Weird show today, but we will be back on Thursday with episode 34. Again, I'll mention it again. Rumble, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere. Please follow, like, share, and of course you'll see it on Facebook, and follow us on TikTok because we're on there as well. We got a lot of people making some very nice comments to us on TikTok. So, folks, thank you very much, Jim. Great show. You're a good sport. And we'll see you all on Thursday. Bye.